There's a breaking news in the AFC North.
What?
The Bengals,
oh, no.
after getting their asses absolutely smacked the last couple weeks without Joe Flacco, without Joe Burrow, are trading for the other Joe Cool.
Oh, no.
What?
Joe Flacco. Rap Sheet and Tom Pelissero were on it. They go from Cool Joe to the coolest Joe. They go from Burrow with an EAU-X to Flacco with a John accent. Ty Schmit, you are seemingly flabbergasted by this move. Why are you reacting?
Just beat him a couple weeks ago at the Browns. He's going to come back in. I was really looking forward to, getting a bite out of the Jake Browning apple.
It was fun. So we're one of those DBs for the Packers.
Yeah. Now we got Joe Flacco coming back to town.
So on that note, Mike Tomlin said this about the Pittsburgh Steelers a couple years ago when Anthony Richardson was playing and Joe Flacco was the backup. Mike Tomlin told the Pittsburgh Steelers defense, we do not hurt Anthony Richardson, okay? We do not want that 6'6" thing walking onto this field and playing against us. Now, inevitably, Joe Flacco did make an appearance in that particular game. I think people that have been around ball respect Joe Flacco, okay? So I think that's why Ty right there goes, oh, no, Joe Flacco can do it.
Jake Browning apple.
And he's got Jamar Chase. Yeah, I wanted all the picks.
Yeah.
Jamar Chase still there.
Yeah, T. Higgins is healthy.
Joe Flacco can still.
He's going to come in and say, I beat these guys a couple weeks ago. I know exactly what we got to do.
He might be calling the plays.
Yeah, he probably is.
AJ, how is Ohio going to react to the Flacco move from one part of the state to the other?
I think Ohio people are going to be very happy about this. I live in Bengals country pretty much. There's definitely Browns fans as well, but a lot of people have been saying, Jameis, Andy Dalton, somebody, like they got to bring somebody in here to Cincinnati. I feel like Flacco. Maybe I did overlook him at first, but maybe he is the answer. He'll get the ball to those superstars, though. I promise you that he'll push the ball to them.
Is he the ruler of the jungle this week too?
Please no.
Oh,
if he is, then they.
Do you think, just in the history of sports media, do you think that the way ESPN, because our show is currently on ESPN, would react to a starting quarterback trade within a division will go the way we just did it right there? Do you think there would?
39-year-old quarterback who's playing backup.
Oh no, he's going to beat the Packers twice.
Packers are best team in football we did.
Yeah,
that's got to be one of the stats, guys. Has anybody started for two different teams and beat the same team in the same year?
Yeah, we'll see you Sunday, Coach. It'll be the first time and the last time it's ever happened.
Okay, let's talk about this actually, because I think there is a BS or no BS about the age of quarterbacks. So let's get to the age of quarterbacks one, because Joe Flacco, obviously 39 years old, still playing, and then these guys that are getting like their mid-prime resurgencies is because the conversation is basically maybe there aren't enough talented young quarterbacks in the NFL. So that statement has been made on a plenty of occasion, which is why these guys get a second shot at it. There aren't enough talented young QBs in the NFL. Quarterback whisperer BA, is that BS or is that no BS?
Now these total bullshit.
Oh, really?
Would you look at the kids, I call them kids, 26 and under? This is the future of the league, and the league is in great hands. I mean, just look at what they're doing. Drake May, Caleb, Jaden Daniels, on and on. There's like
Jordan
8 or 9 of them, and it is Jordan Love. I mean, every team is in good hands with these young guys, and I think it's just bright future, especially for offensive football.
Okay, so these guys like Joe Flacco are still getting opportunities, or maybe these older quarterbacks that are getting ops. That's always the way it's been around the league, or are we just putting more spotlight on now? Like Joe Flacco getting another opportunity to be a starting quarterback, that's not an indictment on the other options that are out there at a younger age. It's just Joe Flacco's a guy that can still play good ball somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, Jake Browning, he's had some really good games for the Bengals, and I think he's just had some really shitty ones lately, and they had enough. So they turned to door number 2, and there's Joe. It's like, I would have guessed Jameis or somebody else too, but I'm excited to see Joe throw to those guys.
Yes.
I mean, the speed, and he's still one of the best deep ball throwers in the league.
I think Zach Taylor's probably pretty pumped up about it as well. He's about sick and tired of watching Jake Browning sit on the sideline after his third interception.
Yeah.
And Zach Taylor's thinking to himself, everybody thinks I'm a big dumb dipshit.
You think Zach Taylor's pumped?
About Joe Flacco?
You think he's pumped about it when this deal came?
Did you see the way
D-Butt.
Packers fans just reacted, D-Butt?
I'm just asking a question.
What do you think? What do you think?
I mean, I like Joe. I love Joe, former Colt.
Is that right?
Footstep, he did some good things for us. And I guess this is a situation where I guess you know what you're going to get. You know, you expect Joe Burrow to come back maybe at the end of the year. Maybe some people expected the other Browns quarterback, Shedeur Sanders, to maybe be. But you don't know what you're going to get. It's a rookie. At least you can see what you got there. It maybe even Russ. And so this is a head scratcher, but we'll see. Ty obviously feels a certain way about it, so maybe I'm wrong, and maybe we do get the new QB bump at least for this week. But we know the conversation we're going to be having in about 2 weeks.
Somebody just dropped into my ear with a Yinzer accent. Let's go to Hammer
Don.
AP Tony, AFC North's cooking. Big quarterback shuffle in the AFC North, Tone.
This sucks, and D-Butts is right. He's eventually going to be right, but I had the same reaction that Ty had because I don't think Joe's going to play this week. I don't think you get traded on a Tuesday and play on Sunday against the Packers. I think you get traded on Tuesday. You learn the offense for a week, and then you beat the Steelers on Thursday Night Football at home. Like, that's the quarterback bump game. That's the game you win, okay? And then you go off and you suck the rest of the season. So I think Ty's okay. I think the Steelers are screwed.
So listen, this is how our show is reacting to Joe Flacco getting traded, by the way. A 6th-rounder and a 5th-rounder are getting flopped in the trade as well. There's a little bit more details. We got Ty from the Packers going, oh, no, Flacco's about to beat us. And then you got the Steelers next week going, he's not actually. He's going to beat us. I mean, there's fear around the NFL with Joe Flacco getting traded. And, hey, maybe he does another magical midseason run with a team to the playoffs, Conman.
Yeah, exactly. No matter what, whether they're winning or losing, we know T. Higgins and Jamar Chase are about to have some 80-yard touchdown opportunities, a ball going through the air the whole time. But kind of awesome for the Browns. Like, if you look at that young quarterbacks, conversation, all of a sudden Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders, you got to think Cleveland feels great about both of them if they're comfortable moving on from Flacco. Dylan Gabriel, I believe, played, turnover-free football in his first game, and his first game happened to be...
He looked the part.
He did, yeah.
He really did.
Like
Against a
NFL.
What
hell
did
of a
you think?
defense.
What
I
did
thought
you-
he looked fantastic against that defense. I mean...
And the size obviously was talked about because it had to be talked about because it was one of the only things that was like a big-time knock. Because if you looked at any of his college tape against damn near everybody, he is very efficient and a very accurate quarterback. I think people talk about his leadership and how people like him. So, like, the only knock was, hey, he's 5'11". We got to talk about that because most of these quarterbacks, big, tall guys, it's not easy. He looked very comfortable as an NFL quarterback, and he was spinning it all over the place. Do you think Cleveland, with this move, is saying we're comfortable with what we have here and we're going to continue to
I
develop?
don't think there's any doubt about it. Yeah, they really like what they saw, and they obviously feel like Shedeur's ready to go too.
That's fascinating. Kenny Pickett out of town, right? Mm-hmm. Joe Flacco out of town. Now it's just the two rookies, basically, in that quarterback room that we've chatted about since the offseason. Then a lot of people say, hey, this is how it's going to go. I'm sure Dan Orlovsky's taking a full...
Oh, yeah.
If you were going to trade both guys... Why aren't we starting the rookie? But he basically said, if we're inevitably going to get to the rookies, why are we even doing the song and dance? I think they thought they were going to win with Flacco. I think they thought that they were going to be able to do what they did a few years ago, have success, and then there would be some perfect time to hand it over to a rookie, whichever one. Now, they like Dylan Gabriel more. They drafted him in the 3rd round as opposed to the 5th round. I think that was their envision. That was what they were hoping for. They obviously get to Dylan Gabriel at the time they get to him. He looks the part, and then they decide to pull the trigger and move on. How do you think it goes in that building? What do you think the thoughts are over there? Because the defense...
You can win with that defense every week.
Every week?
Every week. So,
They can... In the playoffs, too.
yeah.
Every week in the regular season and every week in the playoffs, you can win with that defense. So the offense just needs to be, and Stefanski, offensive guru. So he's at the point now where both these rookies he thinks he's going to be able to win with. I think that's a good thing for the Cleveland Browns.
And then Deshaun Watson, I don't know who mentioned it earlier in the week, but he will be healthy at some point during this season, so we'll see what happens there. He's still, fairly young. We'll see what happens when he's healthy. But, yeah, you got to feel pretty confident about Dylan Gabriel, number one, because this team team, if you can go out there and score, let's say 21, 24 points a game, you got a chance to win every week with this defense and how they play ball on that side of it. And then you got to be comfortable with Shador and his progression and where he is to be able, because when you have a backup, you got to be ready for this guy to go in and play and drive the ship as well. So I'm interested to see how this goes. Everybody kind of saw it playing out this way. Start the season with the vet, Flacco. Move on to the rookies, because next year they have the multiple first-round picks that they could possibly move up and draft a quarterback as well, depending on how things shake out with the guy that has $230 million guaranteed. So this will be interesting. But this is, Cleveland being Cleveland.
On that note, I think that guy got the $230 million flu when it comes to on-field stuff. I'm not getting into off-field stuff. On-field stuff feels like that guy's trying not to ruin life, because he has the biggest bag in the history of the NFL. That whole thing did not work at all, which has put them into the position that they're currently in. And not to be forgotten in the entire story, Bailey Zip on the ball Zappy also on the Cleveland Browns.
Here we
practice.
go.
Oh, man.
Yeah, they got talent over there.
They feel real good then.
They got talent over there.
I just wish that defense would have showed up in the last 3 minutes.
Yeah?
You're talking about Carson Wentz?
Yeah.
You don't think Carson Wentz just figured them out? It took him 57 minutes maybe to figure out what was going on the defensive side. What's the laugh?
Bruce.
We're paying these defensive linemen a lot of money. Carson Wentz need to be on his ass.
That's hilarious. We talked about him talking about Gannon earlier. Mm-hmm. You heard him just old school right there, too. He's got
He's got the lead.
and we can't close the game.
With this defense?
How do you feel about the Browns? I mean, the AFC North as a whole has become.
I want to see that defense be dominant. When they are dominant, I think they can win them with a rookie quarterback because they got a hell of a running back. They got enough talent around them, good offensive line. So, yeah, but that defense has got to be dominant.
Stefanski, how do you guys view him?
I don't know how he's kept this job this long.
That's exactly. Most coaches view that way. But I think the reason why he's kept his job this long is because I think there's alleged kind of understanding Haslam's the one that made the deal. Because remember, the Cleveland Browns were out of the running. It was going to be Atlanta or New Orleans he was going to get traded to. And then all of a sudden, out of the clouds, if the story goes the way we've been kind of told it or followed, they came in with the $230 million guarantee. Hey, here's this, the biggest offer, fully guaranteed to do this. And then all of a sudden, wait a minute, we will go to Cleveland if that's what's happening. He ends up at Cleveland. So I think a lot of people in the media have just said, well, that ownership decision has kind of slowed down Andrew Berry and Stefanski's ability to develop team and coach team. Now, they've moved on from Baker. Obviously, Baker's had the success that he's had and everything like that. But I think everybody in the media's eyes just kind of give him a pass because the ownership decided to tie up the largest percentage in the history of a salary cap and kind of hamstring the entire team. Coaches, though, do they see it that way? Or is it just...
No, the coach is all about winning, man. It's all wins and losses. You can be the nicest guy in the world. You're going out the door. But I think maybe they see that continuity does matter because they went through so many people so fast in the Browns' history that they are trying to copy the Steelers a little bit. And let's keep our guys. Let's keep our coaches. Let's keep some continuity, and we'll put it together.